Okay, good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second day of the Tourbit Virtual Transnational Matchathon. I am Sandra de Puig. I am project manager at the Catalan Tourism Board, and it's my pleasure to be your master of ceremonies for today. So I will be together with you along the 3 hours that this session is going to last. As you know, today's session is dedicated only for the Tourbit Tourism SMEs, therefore these SMEs that have been awarded with the Tourbit financial support. And the session that we have prepared for you today is as follows. So first of all, we're going to have a little introduction on what are the next steps that you need to follow. So once you have now accepted the financial support from the Tourbit project, what are the next steps that you will need to follow in views to implement your digitalization project? Then, and this is the part most important from the session of today, is about the meetings that you're going to have with the service providers. So you have been selecting already some service providers with who you would like to have some bilateral conversations in order to find the perfect match with who you could potentially implement your digitalization project. And last but not least, we're going to have a little session also on some testimonials that are some tourism SMEs that have already been through this digitalization process that are going to be explaining to us some tips, some do's and don'ts. Therefore, stay active, stay as well comfortable, have some water, some notebooks, because at the end today you are in charge of the success of this session. You are in charge of making the perfect match with the service providers, and therefore I welcome you to stay together with us during these 3 hours. I now have the pleasure to welcome Mr. Patrick Torrent, who is the Executive Director of the Catalan Tourism Board, who would like to introduce and to give you some welcoming words. Good morning, Patrick. Hello.
Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Welcome to this second day of this Tourbit Virtual Transnational Matchathon. Today is an exclusive day for you, a day dedicated only for the Tourbit SMEs. The Tourbit SMEs are these 62 tourism SMEs selected to receive financial support to implement their digital projects. 62 from 232 applicants. Then I want to express my warmest congratulations to these Tourbit awarded SMEs. You have showcased exceptional dedication and efforts in setting up a project proposal for your digital acceleration. It is a great pleasure and joy that I stand before you today to welcome you to this Matchathon session. A session that marks the kickoff of the Tourbit Digital Acceleration Program, the 10-month program during which the Tourbit SMEs will work together with the Tourbit service providers to accelerate their digital transition. In today's rapidly evolving world, embracing digitalization has become an imperative for business of all sizes. Even the small and medium enterprises, which represents around the 95% of the tourism businesses in Europe. And your commitment to this journey is truly commendable. By seizing this opportunity, you have taken a significant step towards driving your enterprise in a more innovative and resilient way. The Tourbit Digital Acceleration Program serves as a platform to bridge the gap between the needs and challenges faced by the tourism SMEs and the expertise and solutions provided by service providers. We understand that each business has its unique set of obstacles when it comes to digitalization, and it's our goal to ensure that you find the perfect partner who can guide you through this journey effectively. In today's digital age, our industry demands constant innovation and adaptation to ever-changing market dynamics. By embracing digital technologies, you, Tourbit SMEs, can enhance operational efficiency, streamline processes, improve customer experiences, innovate in businesses and service, as well as create a sustainable competitive advantage. The Tourbit Digital Acceleration Program is designed to support you in unlocking this potential and facilitating your digital transition. To the Tourbit service providers present here today, I want to extend my appreciation for your commitment to this initiative. Your expertise and guidance are crucial to the success of the digital progress for these Tourbit SMEs. By understanding the unique challenges faced by each SME and tailoring your solutions accordingly, you will have the opportunity to make a profound impact on the future trajectory of this business. I also want to acknowledge the support of our Tourbit partners, who are the ones in close contact with the Tourbit SMEs and the Tourbit service providers who have encouraged them to embark in this transformative path, and who are the local contact points available to support you along the path. Today is not just an opportunity for digital transformation. It's a chance for networking, learning, and building long-lasting relationships that will shape the future of your businesses and of the future the tourism ecosystem. I have no doubt that the Tourbit Digital Acceleration Program will pave the way for extraordinary achievements. Once again, congratulations to all the awarded SMEs. I wish you a very successful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for your welcoming and for your motivational words. Now let me give the floor to Leonie Hen. She is project manager at the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, and they are also partners of the Tourbit project. Leonie is going to explain us a little bit what are the next steps that you, Tourbit Tourism SMEs, need to follow from now until the very start of this digital acceleration program. So Leonie, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Sandra has given me the task today to explain this in 5 minutes, so I'll do my very best to complete this task, Sandra. So as Sandra and Patrick have mentioned already, today is very important that you take advantage to find the right service provider for you today and in the coming days. You can also make use of the online community that we have to get in contact with third service providers if you need to do so in the coming days. So apart from that, we have to go through a few administrative procedures with you, but there's nothing very complicated, and we will make sure that to accompany you in this process. Concretely, what you will have to do is to sign a so-called grant contract with your local contact point. The local contact point is what we call the organizations that are partners of Tourbit and are in your country and giving you support and also giving the funding to you on local level. So this grant contract comes together with 2 more administrative documents. One of them is the Declaration of Honor. This is simply a document where you have to verify that and sign that all the information that you have provided to us is right, is correct, that your company, for example, has not committed any fraud or any similar things. Okay, so this is just to be signed by you together with a financial identification form. This is just to confirm the bank account where the money is supposed to be transferred to. So ideally, you have to do this by the 30th of June, so by the end of this month. Okay, your local contact point will provide all the documents, so the templates to be signed by you by next week, probably by the end of next week. Okay. So apart from the administrative side, which is the grant contract, there is also a technical document that needs to be filled in by you, which is the project plan. This is basically a breakdown of your project into specific activities. We will have a look at this document in a second from now, so it will become much clearer what I'm talking about here. So we recommend you very much to fill in this document with your service providers, or at least to confirm it with them to make sure that the information you have provided there is correct. This is very important because this document will be the basis for the evaluation and for the reporting with you. And based on this document, we will also analyze the completion of the different activities and the funding that will correspond to you. Okay. This is how the document looks like. I hope it's not too small and you can still read what's on it. So first of all, you have to break down your project into different activities. So provide a very short activity description and tell us which service provider will support you in the implementation of this activity. You can have either one or several different service providers. Then you will have to tell us when each of the activities starts and when it will end, and very importantly, the type of evidence, what we call deliverable, that you will provide to us. This is something that has to showcase that this activity has been actually undertaken. So it can be a report where you just explain what you've been doing, including, for example, some screenshots of a software that you have implemented or a new tool that you're using or a new website that you have developed. It can be also a certificate, for example, of a training that you have undertaken, etc. The important thing here is that it clearly showcases what you have been doing. And then you also have to assign a percentage of the weight of that each of the activities represents in relation to the overall grant, which, for example, in Spain is 8,000 euros. Okay, this is important because if you justify, if you showcase the activity, then the corresponding budget, the corresponding amount will be transferred to you. Okay, and if you fail to do so, then this is the amount that will be deducted from your grant. Okay, this is very important to keep in mind. So a very, very quick glimpse on when you will receive the money, because this is something that everyone's very concerned about, obviously. So you will receive 3 different payments. The first is 20% that you will receive 30 days after the submission of this project plan that I have just showed you. Then you receive another 30% halfway through after the midterm report, and 50% at the end. The cash flow goes as follows. So you receive the money from us and you pay your service providers. Okay. So I know that this has been very, very quick, but we will all of this in much more detail. Okay, everything that concerns the payments, the reportings, the documents that you have to fill in, your responsibilities, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, etc. We will all explain this on the 4th of July in kickoff info session, where we will start and launch the project together with all of you. So please save the date of this event and we'll see you all there. Meanwhile, please just stay alert for any messages that will come your way from Tourbit or from your local contact points. Thank you very much. I give back the floor to Sandra.
Thank you, Leonie. Congratulations for keeping the time so good. Thank you very much for that. Maybe there are some questions in the chat that you can already, or we could reply to, I think. But yes, let's move forward. So now, Jordi Young, who is innovative consultant at Peninsula, he is also gonna give us some guidance on how we are gonna be undertaking these bilateral meetings between you and the service providers, and also how the mentors are going to join along this meeting. So Jordi, if you want to explain us a little bit how we're going to work now. Thanks.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Sandra. So hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how we're going to perform all these meetings. All of you during the last few days have been receiving some calendar invites. I'm going to share my screen here. This is my Google Calendar. Some of you might use Outlook, or maybe you don't have it and you have received emails. So these invites, whether via email, Google Calendar, or other calendar apps, are called Tourbit bilateral meetings, and then the name, either the SME or the service provider. You can see at what time you are having these meetings. Those meetings are only 25 minutes long. So I encourage you to be quick and spot on time. To access these meetings, you have to click to this big blue button. You will see it in different languages. It is just a link to a video conference call. And the participants on this call are all the people that you can see here. Some of you have already selected that you will attend, others don't. The important thing is that you see here down who is the SME representative and the service provider representative. Then it is easier for you to organize the call, because sometimes you have many people from the service provider and from the SME. So what we're going to have here, these video conferences are held by the three partners, which is SME, service provider, and the mentor. But the meeting is led by the SME. The SME should start pitching their challenge, their potential solutions, the ones that you already sent us. And the service provider has to interpret it and see how they can help you implement or solve the challenges that you have. During these meetings, the mentors will be joining. They will not be joining at the beginning of the meetings, maybe, because mentors are jumping from session to session. So it is important that you start the meeting as soon as the SME and the service provider join the meeting. Also, we know that some of you have already generated some work, or you have started working together, some of the SMEs and the service providers. Therefore, we have also attached to these meetings the project plan, which Leonie was explaining a few moments ago. So for those of you that already have started conversations, here you have the document that you have to start working on during this call. So this is how you are going to meet. And these meetings are happening between 10:20 and 12:20. So what you have to do at 12:20 is come back here to the main stage where we are now, and come back to see us finish the the conversation of today. So my recommendation for all of you is that you leave this web page open, and then you jump to your Google Calendar, you perform all your meetings, and when it's 12:20, you come back here, and now the video is stopped. It will start again at 12:20. So this is all for me. So Sandra, back to you.
Excellent, Jordi. Thank you so much. So now it's time for you, Tourbit SMEs, to have these meetings and make the best out of them. We hope that you will find your best service provider with who to implement your digitalization projects, and see you back again, as Jordi was saying, in the main stage at 12:20, please, sharp. Okay. Thank you very much. Good meetings. Okay, so welcome back everybody to the main stage. We hope that you have very successful meetings. We know actually that some of you were able to know already your service provider and therefore to make your perfect match. So congratulations for that. You have accomplished the mission that you had. And if you don't have the opportunity to meet yet your service provider, as you have been able to see in the chat, we have a lot of service providers that are still waiting and that are still willing to support you in your digitalization process. So don't hesitate to contact them. We have also mentioned in the chat, and that's something that I'm going to mention also later on, there is in the Tourbit community a session, a specific space dedicated for the tourism SMEs awarded with the financial support of the Tourbit project and also the Tourbit service providers. This space is named or is called Digital Acceleration Program. And there you can meet each other, you can contact each other, and you can still finding your service providers, your perfect match to implement your digitalization process. Okay, so if you had not the time today or not the chance today to find your service provider, this is something that is not yet finished. You can still have the time to meet them. Also, another thing we're going to do after this session of today is we're going to send you an online form to the Tourbit SMEs to understand how the bilateral meetings with the service providers went. We know that some of you were not able at the end to meet the service provider, maybe because it didn't come or whatever. So we would like to know this in order to help you out on the next steps. So that's another thing that would come after today, this online form for the tourism SMEs, the Tourbit SMEs, so we can see your status on finding your perfect match and we can help you out with this process. So now, in order not to delay much more, I have the great pleasure also to introduce this last part of today, which is about testimonials. We are having three tourism SMEs from different countries of the Tourbit project that are very much willing to explain how their digitalization process has been. They're going to let us know a little bit some recommendations, how the process worked, some to do, some not to do, some recommendations. So I have the pleasure now to give the floor to Alex Trias. He's the director of Ballena Alegre. It's a camping that is located in the Costa Brava of Catalonia. So Alex, it's your turn now. You have around 8 and 10 minutes. I will be also letting you more or less when the time is over. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
No, sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Thanks for inviting us to be able to be here and explain our experience. And hopefully we'll be able to help you with some thoughts or make you think about something and send us information, questions, or happy to help as much as we can. Here in La Ballena Alegre, we are a camping site that we've been almost 50 years working, but the initial camping site that we created was close to Barcelona, and it was in 1956, but it was closed due to the growing of the airport from Barcelona, so we had to finish the business there. But we've been in the business for over 70 years. From the initial times in our business, we always thought that digitalization was key for us to be able to work. And we've always been trying to challenge companies and find new ways and different offers and study different ways of doing things. We started as usual with the ERM, and I think we built a company from zero that now has been bought by a French company, Sequoia Soft, that's taken over the one that started initially with us here in Spain. They built the first software for camping sites. And we started with all the accounting system. But I would say as a first key thing is you need to know what you want to do, study well the market initially, check what you have around before trying to build it by yourself. And if it's not there, be sure to get the right partner or someone that has your enthusiasm or the likes the challenge to be able to try and build something from scratch and start again, because it's a tough process to do something by scratch. Nowadays, it's easier and you have lots of things available, so you really don't start from zero. But that's something that before starting something new, it's better that you study well the market and you know which tools are around. So I was saying we started building our own ERM system that it's the main system used in Spain for camping sites, for managing camping sites. And then from there on, we kept moving on. We've always been trying to do things different. We were the first implementing a system in camping sites in barriers to read license plates. And for that, we had to go to Belgium, and we bought a software from a military company in Belgium to be able to read license plates. So sometimes you end up in things that you could never imagine that you are going to end up there and dealing with things like that. But at the end, finally, that software really didn't work well during the second season, and we had to rebuild right from scratch with a partner we had the whole software in 24 hours. So it was quite challenging and was good, but well, you have to have the right people around and good people that have good ideas and likes to work and try to find solutions, really. Making the story short, after that, we've always based trying to give a great service, but having the best available tools to be able to digitalize and try to remove, do the least repetitive works manually. So try to automate as much as we can things. We've always had the EMAS certification since 2000 or 2002. I'm not sure another year. And since then, EMAS, I don't know if you know EMAS, but it's a bit different from an ISO sustainability or medioambiental certification, that it's a challenging certification that keeps asking you to improve every year. And for that, it was quite a tough and bureaucratic work. And we've tried to digitalize all that process and be able to get tools for maintenance and for getting all the records and make things easier, so we didn't have to have papers going up and down and people writing and remembering to write things down, because you have to get the people that are checking the pool system, the people that are checking the water, the heating, so on. So it's people that are not used to be carrying, or it's not in places where it's all clean and nice and tidy like in an office. So you have to, you lose papers get dirty, get wet, you lose the information. So we've been able now to digitalize the whole process and have it with tools that just can take a picture of a QR code and they get the label of what they have to check and write down and put it in, and we send it directly to the system. And lately now, what we're working now is, well, we worked also in the camping site, we found a way to, we had also, well, as you can, our camping site, sorry that I didn't, it's quite big. We have like a kilometer and a half of seafront, of beachfront. So it's very big, and we have about 4,000 people to 4,500 people staying with us when you are in the peak summer season, sorry. And at that time, checking money and moving money around the camping site, it's a problem. So and people are in bathing suites and enjoying and swimming in the swimming pool and doing things like that. So having money with them was it's a bit tricky or difficult, and we have issues. And we've created a system to be able to pay with the fingerprint as well in the whole camping site. So you charge your fingerprint, you can put different controls for children, and you can allow them to have an amount that they can spend per day, or you can let them use all your account, or create a special account for them only, and so on. So it's very convenient for clients and for making things easier, and as well for the camping site, so people can also spend whenever they need and when they have the impulse, and not having to wait to have their credit card or the money around. And the latest thing that we're working on now is to be able to calculate our carbon footprint that we are generating with the camping site. And we are working with a company that's building a tool for us where they are calculating our first footprint for 2022. And from there on, they'll give us a tool that introducing all our data and all the things that we're doing for our suppliers, where are we buying, if we buy more locally, and then it calculates the main footprint, the main carbon footprint that we generate. So to be able to check which things we can do, be able to identify where we can improve and where we can reduce our carbon footprint. And in the future, the part that we can't reduce and that it's intrinsic to the business, or there's no easily solved things, we'll have to work on things on how to compensate that footprint and be able to generate other activities around the area to be able to compensate that footprint. In summary, what I would say is digitalization. I think it's key for businesses to be able to grow and be able to automate ordinary or more boring, more tough or repeating activities. And what you really need is to have an idea of where you want to go and be sure you get a good partner to help you with it. Nowadays, there are millions of softwares and solutions around, and it's easy to be able to get a standard solution that it can adapt to your needs quite easily, but you have to have the right partner that knows what you want and knows how to adapt those tools as well. It's something we've also have been trying with different apps to have apps for the camping site. It's something that's we've been thinking about generating an app for ourselves in the camping site, but we don't see it costs a lot of money to be able to create one for yourself. And we are only open 5 months in a year, so the rest of the year we're not getting any feedback back, or we're not getting any use for that app. So we've finally been able. We tried with a couple, and we finally found a great partner that has a solution, an initial solution, and has been able to adapt that to the different camping sites, and then you explain the different things that you want to change or you want to evolve, and it's working perfectly. So, in a nutshell, that's more or less what I wanted to explain. Any things that you want to ask of, or if you have questions, or you want to send us information, happy to help you.
Thank you so much, Alex, for these recommendations and for sharing with us your experience. I took some notes on that, especially on the fact that we need to know very good what exists already, where we are and where do we want to go, and the being with working together with good people. No, for what I understood is internally. So from your businesses, that you have people that is willing to work together with you into this digitalization process, but also in partnering with a good partner. So thank you so much. Now I would like to give the floor to Lisa Koivisto. She's the founder and CEO from Farmscape, which is located in Lapland. So hello, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hello.
The
I'm
floor
fine.
is all yours. Thank you.
Yes, it's nice to be here. I will try to share my slides for you. Let's see if it works. Can you see them? If anyone can tell me. Yes. Not yet. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I wasn't able. Let's see. Share. And from here. How about now? Great. So my name is Liisa Koivisto and I have an escape room with real animals at a farm in Lapland, Finland. And I'm a part-time entrepreneur and I have a day job as a project manager at a circular economy center. And I have been an IT teacher in Lapland University of Applied Sciences. And my lifestyle, I try to live as self-sustainable at my farm as possible. So here is my escape room with real animals. We have been doing this since 2017, so already 6 years. So it is an escape room where people free these animals to the game and they really play the game with the animals in the stable. And we also have another farm in Forssa in southern Finland where they have our games. So I also teach farms to do this. And our digitalization journey, I chose some steps we have done. So maybe you could do something like this also. So we have an online course and podcast, and I have been testing a Lightboard video, 360 video, VR, AR, eye tracking technology, and I'm a big fan of AI tools. And most of these projects are from Lapland University of Applied Sciences, which I have been participating. It has been great. Thank you. So first, this is our online course. This is Farm Escape Academy. This is where I teach other companies to have an escape room business. And this is easy way to share my own knowledge to others and like in scalable way. And now I am launching the beta group international, so in English. So previously I have done this only in Finnish. So if there are some farms or some other companies who would like to have escape room games, feel free to contact me. And this podcast that I have started like maybe 2 months ago, Lapland University of Applied Sciences, they asked me that could I have a podcast for my company, and I had been thinking about this for like 2 years maybe, and I immediately said yes. So I'm very happy that now I have started it, and a new episode, it comes live every once in a week. But it has a little bit been like surprise for me that it takes one work day for each episode. So the recording, it is the easy part, and the planning, editing, and marketing the podcast, each episode, it takes time. And I have noticed that getting listeners to podcast, it is much more harder than getting social media followers. So really the start has been slow, and I hope to get some. The podcast, it is in Finnish, and I hope to get some media attention. And this big countryside newspaper is coming to interview me next week, and some local newspapers also. So I really have to use all what I got to market the podcast to get listeners. And this is something that I think it was last week that I tested, Lightboard video. It was very nice, but it wasn't so easy as it may look when you look at these videos from YouTube, because it is hard to, at the same time, you have to talk and draw. So you can see what I have been drawing, like very simple figures, because it was hard and it took time. I think it took us like one hour to film maybe 2-minute video. So that was And then we have been testing eye tracking technology, and I recommend this to all tourism companies because they use this kind of glasses, and the test people, those glasses, they record what they see and where they target their eyes. So, and also they record the voice. So during the experience, when the customer comes to your company, it is good if the customer also tells how she or he feels or what to think. And then after the experience, then you analyze the recording data and also hear the recording. Yes. And they tested this with when they arrived, like what expectations they had. They recorded their voice and what was their first impression, and during the welcoming and instructions, and during the experience, and then after the experience and goodbyes. And I also got the feedback after the visit from the testers, written feedback. It was very valuable. And then Lapland University of Applied Sciences had this 360 video, and they made this tour from our farm. And then they showed this tour to potential customers, and they gave us feedback about this virtual tour, what they think about and would they like to visit us. And there was also, we were thinking about we could make this video an online escape game. So that is something we are looking into. And the tips, what you should take into account is that that camera films everywhere, up, down, everywhere. So everything needs to be in good order. And the good thing is that you can have these videos to see them in YouTube, in Facebook also, and you don't need to have virtual classes. And finally, I'm a big fan of AI, and here are some tools that I like to use in my daily work. I use a lot of ChatGPT to brainstorming, to write blog posts or social media posts, video or podcast transcripts, and images. For example, for my games, I make with Midjourney, so I can just describe what I want there to be, or I can download a photo and then, for example, photo of myself, and then say Midjourney that make me a Viking from from Iceland with a sword and an Icelandic horse, and I can continue working on that photo until I like it. And the text to video. Synthesia, it is quite nice. It is a video avatar, so I can give there the text I want, and then the avatar speaks it, and I can choose the avatar. And in video, that is where I can, for example, put some text from my web page, and it will make it a video. It will find stock video to it automatically and put transcripts and everything, and I can change them like just drag and drop. So it is very fast way to make a marketing video, for example. But sometimes the first video is very bad, but at least it is very fast and you can make it very nice. Yes, and there are the other ones you can maybe see. Website in 30 seconds, durable. Slides with AI, Canva simplified, meeting notes without you attending Teams meeting. You send author and not you, and get the notes from it. And then video editing can be done very fast with VoiceCut, and Clipchamp is nice for subtitles also, but VoiceCut does that also. And DID, there I can send my image and speak my voice, and it makes my photo to speak what I tell, or I can use other people photo and text to speech or whatever.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, very much. Thank you for your explanation and for explaining us a little bit how you have been introducing and using all these interesting technologies applied to your enterprise. So thank you very much for all these tips. Let me now give the floor to Luis Coelho. He's a founder and general manager of Portugal A to Z, walking and biking. Hello, Luis. How are you doing?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Good. So nice to meet you. I hope you are happy. And there was a very nice presentation from Lisa. Very technical, very interesting. So I will talk about our experiences and maybe share you some small images. Can you see my screen? Because you need to stop sharing, Lisa, please. Can you see already my screen? Not yet. So let's try again, share screen. Okay. So now you can. So simply, briefly, what we are a company, a Portuguese company based in Portugal. We started in 2006, and our main brand is we use the brand Portugal A to Z, walking and biking. That means that in our brand, we clearly communicate what we do in our company. So our goal is to show the best hiking and biking tours all over Portugal, including Azores and Madeira Islands that you can see in the images. Why it's important for us, that issue about digitalization? Quite simple, because when we start our tours long time ago in 2006, we use those type of communication. Let's say for someone who wants to come for a tour, and we organize hiking and bike tours, we follow those signs, that road book. You remember, probably some of you just remember the road book. The road book was paper that we use to follow the path, to follow directions, and where we have all the information. And that was the whole time quite used. There are some companies or some old people that still use it nowadays, but this is not a sustainable way. Why? Because sometimes in one of the landmarks that we decided to do was, imagine the yellow wall painting in yellow, and someone comes and painted in white, and there's a mistake and a problem, and we don't know where we are when we follow the path. So what we do in 2008, we moved from the paper for a GPX, for a Garmin. We used at the time the Garmin, and the Garmin allow us at the time to follow the tracks. And how do you work at the time? We use with a mix between paper with the notes, all the notes that someone needs to follow the biking path or the hiking path. But at the same time, they start to use the GPS instrument, and that was very important. When we start to do it in Portugal, some of our companies doesn't use it at the time, but we decided to do it. Then moving on. Nowadays, what we use is another application, things like Ride GPS. This is a bike or hiking navigation system. They use our phones, so it's very important because the screens are bigger, and especially people can use some his own equipment. So that's very important to move from paper to GPX and then to your own phone. That's very important, because since we pretend to be a sustainable tours, sustainable experiences, this way we cut all the paper in the system. That means that you receive a link before you come to Portugal with all the information, contact, 24-hour contact, all the path and all information about accommodations and transfers, luggage transfers, or whatever. So that's very important to And for you who start new project, you need to look always at the best practices. Let's say we are a Portuguese company in Portugal, a small country in the west of Europe, but our practices look always at the United States best practices. So what for us is important is to build something not for us, but for the world. Even our website, when we start, nowadays, we start to build everything in English. And for us, it's more important, as I told to some of you already. For me, it's easier to have clients or guests from Australia better than from Portugal. So that's very important. Another thing that is very important about digitalization is the processes. And when we start, we use the old Excel systems to put some information, but it's not possible. When you start to grow, when you start to have all the information very well organized and well controlled, you need to go for other tools, like, for instance, the ClickUp. We use ClickUp as an instrument. And if you look at this is my screen, and I can control all my activities from daily and from the company using some of these instruments. The ClickUp is very, very friendly, very important to organize all the information in terms of contact from clients. It's not a CRM, but it's something similar to all the operation system. So very important that don't stay focused on the very primitive and old systems, but look at the best systems in the market and look always to the best options in the world. And that's what I want to say to you, and I can stop it here.
Thanks, Miriam, Luis, for this explanation. Also very interesting to see the process along the years, how this has been advancing and evolving. And again, one of the crucial points is to focus on best practices. And I would just like to point out, before moving to the next steps from the 3 testimonials that we have been having today, how digitalization can also be a leverage for sustainability and a leverage for innovation. So it's not only about automatization of processes, that's something, of course, that is essential and crucial, but also going one step ahead on the businesses and supporting the innovation and sustainability of the businesses. So thank you so much. You deserve also a virtual applause, I think, from all the audience. And now I will jump then for the next steps before closing the day. Thank you all 3. So now, if you allow me, I'm gonna share my screen. I hope it's gonna work as expected. So just 1 second. Okay. Can you confirm that you're seeing my screen, Jordi, maybe? Okay, perfect. Okay, so just before closing the session of today, wanted to show you some next steps, especially for the Tourbit Tourism SMEs. We are now in the process of the Matchathon. Today is finishing the Matchathon, and is essential for you to go one step further your digitalization process to find your service providers. So again, keep in touch with them, work with them. If you have not been able yet to find the service provider with who you should implement your digitalization project, please keep an eye on this. So you should have been receiving already an invitation from the Tourbit community to join this dedicated space that is called Digital Acceleration Program. This space, it's only for the Tourbit SMEs and the Tourbit service providers. You have the opportunity to meet there and to continue with the discussions or establish contact in views of finding this perfect match, these good partners with who to implement your digitalization project. Okay, if you have your notifications from the Tourbit community locked, please unlock them, because if not, you will be unable to see what we are communicating and what we are sharing through this space. Second very important date to pencil in your agenda is the kickoff session taking place on the 4th of July at 11. This is happening only for the Tourbit SMEs that are going to be receiving the financial support, because we are going to be explaining further on how the digital acceleration program is going to work. Okay. Connected to that, as Leonie was saying at the beginning in the morning, we have two important deadlines as well. This information that I'm going to be just mentioning now, you will receive it through your local contact points. But one is that you need to have your grant contract signed before the 30th of June this month. Your local contact points, you have them here, you know them already, from Catalonia, from France, Slovenia, Belgium, Finland, Iceland, Portugal. They are going to be sending you an email with all the documentation. The first important deadline, 30th of June, to have your grant contract signed. You will be working this with your local contact points. The second important deadline, 4th of July, the info session. And the third important deadline is the 31st of July to have your project plan. Okay, don't worry, you will be all the time followed and accompanied by your local contact points. So now I think it's time to finish the second day of the Matchathon. It has been great having you all together with us. I think that you, Tourism SMEs, deserve a super huge thank you for being with us and working with us during these days, and to having all these meetings, as well as for the service providers. Thank you again for your enthusiasm in supporting the SMEs, and continue doing so until they will find the perfect match. And that's all. I think that the work starts really now. So it's now the kind of in a way, launching of the digital acceleration program. We will continue following up with you. We know that some SMEs still have some meetings today. But well, we will continue working together through email, and we can also have these separate meetings if you need. And we will also send you this formula online, so you can fill it in on how it went today with the meetings and what are the needs that you still have. So that's all. Thank you very, very much, and look forward to working together with you in the further weeks. Thank you.